What's up, guys? Rick here with my top 5 sleepers for the Wyndham Championship. So we're going to look just a little deeper down the betting board outside of the favorites and see if there's any value that we can find for either outright bets or top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. Generally, these are just guys that I am higher on than I think that their Vegas odds or their price on fantasy sites would indicate, or maybe whatever the industry sentiment is. These are guys I'm just higher on than I think where they're currently being discussed right now. So let's jump into it. I'm starting with Brendan Todd at 40 to 1. And I got to tell you, I'm not really a big Brendan Todd guy. I haven't invested a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy into Todd this season, but I think this is a really good spot for him. I ran the custom or the key stats model, the course key stats model on RickRunGood.com, and it showed me that the most important stats historically and the type of players that historically do well at Sedgefield Country Club are guys that can hit their driver very accurately, meaning they can play out of the fairway, guys that make a lot of birdies, and guys that can putt well. Well, Brendan Todd fits the mold there. He is third in this field in driving accuracy. He's 45th, so top, 35% of the field in birdie or better percentage, and he's 13th in strokes gained putting. And those last two kind of go hand in hand, considering an event that you're probably going to need to be 20 under par to win. You're going to need to make a lot of birdies. You're going to need to make a lot of putts. And I know the narrative around Brendan Todd, it's that he's melted a few times on Sunday recently, but don't forget he has 2 wins already this season. He's one of the better players that we've seen, relative to any type of skill set in 2020. He's having an unbelievable season, and now you get a much weaker field. This is the exact type of event that Brendan Todd could win. This is a really great spot for him. It's a great course fit, and I think 40 to 1 is a really good price on a guy who already has 2 victories and has been in contention a handful more times. Next is Chez Reavie, and Sedgefield Country Club, not a particularly long par 70. You don't need to be a bomber, but you do need to be accurate, or at least accurate drivers of the golf ball have been more successful here at Sedgefield Country Club than most other courses on the PGA Tour Rota, and Chez Reavie is that type of guy. He's going to hit a lot of fairways. He's going to rely on his irons and see if he can roll enough putts in to make a little bit of noise, and he has been making a bit of noise. He finished 75th at the PGA, Championship last week, which I suppose is disappointing, but no one was ever thinking that the PGA Championship and TPC Harding Park was a perfect fit for Chez. He's had good success in PGA Championships, but they're monster courses. But before that, 3 straight top 25s heading into the PGA Championship, and this just feels like a good place where his skill set will be a lot more comfortable. He won't need to feel like he's well beyond the rest of the field when it comes to driving distance or anything like that. So Chez Reavie, currently listed at 55 to 1 on William Hill, offers an interesting option for me. I'm laser focused on Dylan Frattelli at 70 to 1. And when you are betting sleepers in this range, especially for outrights, you need guys with actual win equity. And Dylan Frattelli has that. He won the 2019 John Deere Classic, a tournament that he did not get a chance to defend his title in. This year, obviously, it was canceled, but Frattelli's game lends well to most places. He's one of the better tee to green players that we have on tour at the moment, and I'm not even kidding. He's averaging 1.03 strokes per round gained from tee to green since the tour's restart. That is the 9th best mark on tour of any golfer who has played as many rounds as he has. The 9th best mark on tour. I'm not talking about in this field. I'm talking about anyone. So Dylan Frattelli has been absolutely elite from tee to green since the restart, and he's converted that into some solid finishes. A T33 last week at the PGA Championship, and then back-to-back top 25s at the 3M Open and the Memorial, 2 events that were leading into that PGA Championship. So I'm really focused on trying to get exposure to Dylan Frattelli this week at the Wyndham Championship. I'm not sure I've ever considered Kyle Stanley for an investment, but here we are. There's a first time for everything, and there's a lot of signs that point to Stanley being able to find a bit of success at Sedgefield Country Club this week. If you look at his past finishes in Greensboro, he has 2 top 15 finishes in his last 3 trips here, and while he did not play the PGA Championship last week, the last time we saw Kyle Stanley was the Barracuda Championship, where he finished 12th there. He's currently sitting at 80 to 1, and he has a skill set, the approach game, the irons, that should be able to translate to a lot of different places. And when you talk about recent form, when you talk about course history, you could do much worse than his peers in this price range or in this part of the betting board. Old trusty Lucas Glover has not been so trusty recently, and the 2 missed cuts have absolutely bottomed out his price. He gets a huge drop all the way to 80 to 1, which was a little bit jarring at first, so I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into it. I mentioned the 2 straight missed cuts, but he is still one of the better tee to green players in this field, and he's been piling up these top 25s in the restart, and he has a ton of experience not only at Sedgefield Country Club, but just in this event in general in Greensboro. He has multiple top 25 finishes. In fact, 8 total top 25 finishes in his 15 trips to the Wyndham Championship. 12 of those the last 12 years, of course, coming at Sedgefield Country Club itself. So Glover, a guy that has a much better pedigree longer term than some of the guys in this price range. Short term, the last 2 weeks, he's been bad, but when you look at like 8-9 weeks since the restart, it really has been a lot of positives for Lucas Glover. And this is one of the biggest drops that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, especially when you get to a field that is as weak as this one is going to be in Greensboro this week. Lucas Glover, certainly a viable top 10, top 20 option for sure. There you have it, my sleepers for the Wyndham Championship. Let me know who I missed or who I'm wrong on. Tweet me at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Best of luck this week.